until you can say you're successful until you are sleeping or you traveled and your business is running without you. Imagine having a business run without you. You don't even go to your office, you don't go to your place of work, you don't go to your where you sell whatever you sell, and the business is running seamlessly. Now, for you to achieve that, it's not easy. It's not something that you just no. There are things you need to learn. There are systems, there are structures that you need to put in place for your business to be able to run on autopilot. So this morning, I'm not going to be the one talking about structure because I have a coach in the studios with me. She's not here physically, but she is joining me this morning. She is Tracy Diamonds. She is a business structure coach. And today we are looking at how to build structure and system in your business so it can run on autopilot. Good morning to you. Good
Good
morning.
morning, Anna.
Yeah, thank you for joining me this morning. So
Thank you for having me.
it's a pleasure to speak with you. Now concerning building structure in your business, I think is a dream of everybody that wants to be an entrepreneur. Because the reason why a lot of people go into business, they say, "I want to have more time. I want to have more time for my family, more time for myself." And the thing is, you start your business, and then you find out that you're working 24 hours. But you said, no, 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 I wanted more time for my family. Now you're working 24 hours. But with structure and system, you could run your business without you. So, where do we start this conversation on how to build structure?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for having me. So, like you said, my name is Tracy Diamonds, and I'll start from my history, probably. Is that okay?
Great,
From my
fantastic,
own story.
fantastic.
So, hold on.
Okay,
So, I run a business. I run a business. I do jewelry. My brand is called St. Tracy. And we started over 10 years ago. And of course, it was a dream. There was passion and all that. But I wanted to start a business. But when I started the business, I think I employed like one staff and we were growing, two staff. It was easy to manage office today. What are you doing? What are you selling? But as the business starts growing, or my business started growing, I realized that I was needed in the office almost every day. I needed to tell my staff everything to do. And I was working for the staff and working for myself. And then I got another branch. I had a branch in Lagos and it was now chaotic because I live in Port Harcourt. And in those days, we didn't have like all the softwares we have now. So for every day we sell here, we have to send the record to the other branch. So they know the stock we had, you know. We didn't have a system where you could just look at the system and know how many stock we have in Port Harcourt and how many we have in Lagos. So every day we're manually sending Excel sheets to the other branch. And when I was having two staff, three staff, there were now issues. The staff will not come to work. I have to come intervene. The office is not open. There's an issue with the customer. Payment was not made to. I know, so it was becoming chaotic. And I needed a solution. And because one of the reasons is also because we go to university and there's no course like how to structure your business in school.
you're right.
Marketing or management, that part of the business, you can only understand it when you step into the water, when you step into the business, and then you realize that, especially for us in Nigeria and our work culture and all that. So I said, who had the business, who was running successfully like me, not a bank where we know that they have all the gadgets, but someone like an SME who was doing something I wanted to do in my future. And at that time, I found Tara Peladro Toyo. So she had like 22 branches of her makeup business. And I could see that she was not running mad. Well, what I could see on social media. And you know what they say about when you are looking for like a yellow car, you start seeing yellow cars everywhere.
That's true.
Or when you're looking for a particular brand of cars, you start seeing them if you're looking for that thing. And so at that same time, as God will have it, she was organizing a class to teach business owners how to organize their business. Wow. So I jumped in and of course I learned from her and all that. So I've learned, this is like over 7 years ago. And I came back and I tried to implement what I knew, what I learned, and of course upgraded it. And now we have 4 locations in Nigeria. We have one in Port Harcourt, one in Lagos. No, 2 in Lagos, one in Ikeja, one in Lekki, and one in Abuja. So we have 4 locations. And the business is running seamlessly. So we start as professionals working in a company, and then we move to start our own business. We call ourselves business owners, but we are self-employed. You're not business owner. You're just employed because you're working. You're self-employed and you also employed other people. If everything has to go through you, how you attend to the customer, where is the stock, you have to count. You're working. You're not a business owner. You don't like pay yourself, but you're working every day. Owner. You're a self-employed. You're not a business owner. So a business owner is someone who works through people, who manages people, who manage people. So if I talk about it and say, how many business do you know in Nigeria? I'm sure you call the banks. You call the banks for me. You say all of the different banks. Because you can see that everything is moving and the CEO or the owner is in one location. That's the aspiration of most of us as self-employed people. So the challenge is that we are all self-employed, but we think we own a business. We don't own. The difference is that we brought the money and put inside this business that is paying us and paying other people. All of us are working every day. So that's my own story, and that's how I started. And I started teaching business owners how they can move from being self-employed to business owners who own businesses where other people work for them. So I hope I'm able to explain a little bit.
You did. You did. No, it was good. Now you are a coach when it comes to organizing your business, putting structure in place. Now to the discussion. I own a business. I would like us to be very practical. So I'm going to give an example of a business that I own. I own a fashion house, just an example. Now I make a lot of clothes for people. I have clients everywhere, and I'm thinking of expanding. And I want this business to run without me, but I'm the one making the clothes. Although I have one or two people I've employed. So how do I liberate myself and be a business owner?
Yeah. So that's where we all start from. I own a business. I'm passionate. I like designs. I like sewing. And so when you put a lot of passion in that thing you're doing, it's difficult to separate yourself. But now you say you want to grow, you want to expand. You will need to learn how to walk through people, because you can't be designing all the clothes, you can't be sewing all of them, even if you know how to match the machine, you can't be the one attending to customers. So you have to say, first of all, it's a mind thing. How can I work with someone else? How can I ensure that someone else can design and I just need to approve the design, and then I can get my tailors to draw? So you need to train people. With business structure, you need to employ people, spend money. Business structure costs money, and it's not a day. It could take you a year or two to move from the level where I'm not 100% involved. Like, you want to start a fashion business. Now you have to start getting designers. You have to start getting more machines. You have to show them how you want the clothes to be made, how you want it to be done. You have to do testing until you're satisfied that they are gotten it right. Create the different division of labor where one person is not starting the dress and finishing the dress. Because if you have that situation, the tailor business is gone. So there has to be division of labor. One person is cutting, another person is drafting, all the different steps in your business. So it costs a lot of money. That's why we see that one person can finish a job, and when the tailor goes, the business dies because that tailor is no longer there. Or someone comes to poach that tailor and tailor your transactions. You may not be able to do, but that is one of the first steps you can do in ensure that you can expand without putting all your business on the back of one person, which is one of our challenges here in Nigeria. So you will need to ensure you have the right tailors. They can make this outfit back to back, testing, and then expand gently. So sometimes people have money and just want to open up. You can get burnt. But if you expand like one, slowly, you can test it. It's running without you. They're not calling you every second. Maybe they're not calling you once in a day or twice a day. They're not the one confirming payments. All those things need to be broken down and delegated to people. And you can start talking of expanding and running that business without you. But okay, so let's give an example. Today, check yourself. How many times does your staff come to meet you and ask you a question today? For everything they're asking you, I'm sure the answer is the same answer. But because they still need you, because they feel like if they don't ask you, they cannot get this thing done. You're not ready to expand. When you're ready to expand, they will not need to ask you these questions every day because you've either created policies that ensure that they know what is on, or you've created standard of which is what you need to do when you want to expand. So that the same way you walk into a fast food and you can taste the burger, the same taste the burger is because they've created standard operating procedures that the burger is the same everywhere. So expand, have more than one location. Those are the things we need to ensure we have in place. Standard operating procedures are there. Policies are the way the bread is mixed, the same way it's mixed every time, every time. So you get this, then you're ready to start expansion. Everyone starts like it's like a circle. Everyone starts from being self-employed before you can now be, say I own a business. Before you can even move to there's another higher level where you're even the founder. So like you can see some people say I'm the founder. They're no longer running that business, but they have the founder. They're no longer involved. So there are steps and there are levels. So let's not rush it. It takes years and time and test. You can tell people that did the guy that started Apple. He's no longer here. Apple is running. He's the founder. But there are people running the business. And every day we talk about Apple, now we know who we are calling, Yeah. But he didn't center it around it. Even when he died, we didn't see a gap in anything because he had created systems, policies, procedures, the way they launch, the way they do everything else. We didn't even feel anything. He will rock through people. So for us to expand, take it easy, gently, test, especially when you don't have so much money. You don't take it so you don't lose a lot of money on the way, and ensure that your business is not behind one staff, because if the staff takes off today, the business is over.
Mm-hmm. Now you mentioned something that's really interesting. You said when you want to build structure and system, it costs money. Now let's look at the foundation, because I believe if you wait to have the money before you start building structure into the business, it might collapse when you already have the money. I've seen businesses, big businesses in Lagos here, that the CEO has to be on ground. He tell me, Mary, I have to know. He's everywhere. If he travels, he's coming back. Now he has the money. So I think maybe he started on a 40 foundation. Or do you need to have more money first before you could start thinking of structures?
So when I say it costs money, one of the money I'm talking about is employing more staff. It's that's the money I mean, not to build something. So you see, that CEO that always has to come to the office because if he has that responsibility to another person, so he's doing the work. He's self-employed. He's working, but he wants to be a business owner. So he's coming to do his work. That his work, he could have delegated it to someone else or employed someone else who could have done it, and most probably has trust issues.
That's it.
Our challenge here has trust issues. So for this particular task, he needs to be the one to do it, because there have been reasons he had probably been burnt in the past. Somebody must have stolen from him or made a huge mistake that caused the company doesn't want it to repeat itself again. And so he's now coming to do that work. So he doesn't avoid problem. He doesn't have problem. But if you do that, he can't grow. So what's he going to do? He has to ensure he creates policies that will monitor whoever is given that responsibility. Him scared. So let's say maybe to come and open their office in the morning because they don't trust their staff. Because there's a problem. Somebody must have stolen or something happened or thief, So what does he have to probably put CCTV cameras, bring security guys, ensure that they're there, ensure he has CCTV on his phone, he can watch. He can afford that. That's the kind of money I mean. So from one CCTV camera, he buys a second camera. That's the money. From one staff, ensuring that one person doesn't start a process and finish, he has to have two staff. That's the money I mean. So sometimes, I'll give an example. Furniture companies, most times, where they sell chairs of 1, 2 million, 3 million, and only one staff is managing it. Because a chair, you're putting a staff that's earning 50,000 naira to sell a chair that is 2 million, 3 million, only one person. And then somebody pays that staff for the chair, 3 million. Nobody's there to check if it was cash or if it was bank transfer. And the staff does there and locks up and takes off. What are you going to do? Because you didn't want to pay a second person to ensure that the money is paid. This is what happens. Somebody else will say, what if they connive? If you keep thinking of all the what ifs, you won't do anything. So if you have a manager who is monitoring, like you go to the bank, before they can even pay you. Somebody else will confirm, somebody else will check, So that's the kind of money I mean. So for that CEO, he needs to delegate that thing that is making him come to the office and trust that person, and then create system that he can monitor that person that he delegated to. So it's not just leaving everything for the person, which is not what I'm saying at all.
Thank you so much for clarifying that, because when it comes to trust issues, I've spoken with different CEOs and they tell me that a lot of these people, you can't trust them. You tell them to do one thing and they do another thing. So that's why I have to be on ground, because this my business is very precious to me. Now, how do you deal with no? Because if you've been burnt before, you say all these things you're saying. I know they are good theories. Yeah, yeah. You've been burnt before. Now, let me tell you a story. I know someone I worked with, a staff that he thought he trusted. He trusted this woman, and he carries all his bank checks, or his banknote, the checks. He takes them with him, so he just writes and give to the lady, take and go and cash money. So he's in charge. He does that. Now this lady if you look at her, she doesn't wear earrings, so you know that this is a righteous somebody. Stole 300 million. Stole 300 million. When they did everything, the costing about 300 million was gone. And how did she do it? She found a way, went to the bank, found a way to get another checkbook, and she could fake the boss signature, and she was going there to collect money. She did it in a way that you would never think someone could do it. Now, for that person, how do you build trust? How do you trust people, trust your employees to manage this business you have built?
Let's look at that scenario that you just gave, which is, so if you give someone, let me understand, if I give you a check to cash, in today's world, because I don't even know how many people use check anymore, but in today's world, for every deposit withdraw from the account, I'll probably get an alert. In today's world, I'll probably get an alert. So, and I'm not, if the check, why should the check be in the staff's name?
No,
so these are the little things.
Okay.
Okay, tell me.
Is in the boss's name. So she went behind to say my boss misplaced his check, so he wants another checkbook. So they gave him another checkbook. So she had a checkbook. The boss has a checkbook. So when she needs money, she just writes the check, put the boss signature, and goes to the bank. And the boss does not get.
Happen to you?
No, it happened.
Happened to you. Huh? Now I'm asking you, can it happen to you today? What you see when the alert leaves?
It cannot happen to me. but yeah.
Because so those are the things. We need to put systems in place that will make sure that we're not porous. I want to believe that it happened a long time ago, not now.
Yeah.
I want to believe.
Let's say like 4 years ago.
There was a time when we didn't to get alerts on our phones. So someone even goes to your bank, you won't even know what has happened. But now we are somebody cannot withdraw 1,000 naira and you will not know. You will start shouting. Even if the bank takes 15 naira from your account, our bank has taken my money. So that's because that's a system that is ensuring that your money is protected. So for today, if you want to, if I'm going to someone goes with my checkbook and withdraws money, I'm going to call the bank. You put some 2 steps, just the way somebody cannot steal your phone. Now there's authentication. You have to know the password. You have to know even if you take the phone. So even if someone takes your check, the bank should be able to call you because you've ensured that you must call me this amount of money, but this amount of money leaves my account. Those are the systems we are saying put in place that ensure that something cannot just happen from the beginning to the end without you knowing. So it must have happened in the past, but now, if I give a check to my staff, I'm giving her the check but not to pay herself. Not to pay herself. Why do I have a transfer? If I want to transfer money to her. If I want to pay a supplier, I will do a bank. So that's why we're all going to everything should just be done online. You can see that. You won't trust someone to bring that kind of amount of money to the office. Even if I need money from the bank to maybe settle some cash expenses in the office, there will be steps where the accountant needs to sign. There will be a requisition, who received the money. Those are the systems we are saying put in place that will ensure that it cannot happen again. Even if I withdraw money and I say, okay, go and pay somebody, they will give me an invoice now. I've paid. I've not paid. The accountant will register it in the software. Those are the systems we are saying put in place so that that thing that happened before will not happen again. Even if I say, go and pay somebody, have you paid? You paid an artisan. Where is his invoice? Can I see the invoice? Has the work been done? That's what we are saying. I paid the mechanic. if you can get an invoice, no. If you cannot, has the work been done? If you cannot get an invoice, you can actually create one in the office. And that's what we are saying now. So those things take time. That the CEO cannot do it. And most times, most people can't do all that. So because the CEO is doing everything, and so he cannot raise the invoice for himself, he's not keeping the record for himself, and that's why things are scattered.
Fantastic. Now, how do you build trust? How do you now? The trust is broken.
Somebody said Jesus had 12 disciples. Inside the 12, there was one Judas. So we are hoping that we can trust people, but we're not going to depend on what they tell us on Facebook. Someone has stolen from me before. So it's not a case of, oh, I get it all right. But I was able to catch the thief. But I'm not saying they will not try, but we are saying that we have protected the business in a way that even if you try, we will be caught. You see how structured the bank is still inside the bank. How? So, and then the bank, they are exposed to cash, they're exposed to the vault, but they are still working. So we just ensure that someone cannot come in and see a loophole and quickly cash in on that loophole immediately. So that's what we are saying. Building trust is, I don't know if there's a secret formula for that. If Jesus could have somebody inside of his camp that stole from him, I don't know about building trust, but all I know is that we will ensure that whoever is working with us cannot find it easy to steal from us. People still plan robberies in the biggest of the secured places. People plan robberies, so you can't be basing yourself and saying, because of that thing that may happen, I won't do my work. The thing is, ensure that you've covered all your ends. You have your CCTV camera, you have like a two-step authentication. If you withdraw from here, you can't just go here. Somebody else needs to approve. You are monitoring, you are looking at your reports, you're looking at how the money is moving. Those are just the basic things that you can do. And then when you're done, you just hand everything to God and monitor what you're doing, which is the main thing. Somebody sent me a message and she said her tailors, they work and they will say there's no job. She'll be watching them, there's no job. On a Sunday, she went to her office and then she saw her tailors working on a Sunday. They don't work on Sunday. She went to the office to get something. And because she didn't have all that, her tailors were working, they are doing their personal job, using her generator, her machine, her everything. And they were working, there's no customer, nothing. Her staff all her staff, from the secretary to the tailors, they all connived and did that. So when I heard it, what would I have done? The thing is just, you don't even need to go to the office. You're not saying I trust you. Put your stay in the house and check your CCTV they are working or not. And then when you find out, you look for, if you have a policy that says that's stealing, as far as I'm concerned, you're stealing from the business owner, you're using her machine, using her equipment, it's to prosecute the person, take the police, but they are stealing from you. So you're not going to say, how will I build trust? To ensure that they steal from me, they are caught. Not that somebody will steal from you and you won't catch the person 1 year, 3 years, which is the way where it's sad. But if they try, they are caught, which is what, because you cannot stop people from thinking of what they want to do or planning whatever they want to plan. So that it's very, very, very difficult for them to actualize their plan.
Okay, great, fantastic. We're going to go for a commercial break, and when we come, we'll start taking questions from you. So we'll take questions from our listeners. So keep it here. This is the Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We don't die for where we did, oh yeah. Now so promise and fail, oh yeah. And we don't wait, PDP don't come again. Jando malole she alama tele Jando for governor Jando under PDP Jando T23 Jando alama tele Jando for governor Jando for Lagos Jando for everybody. Jando Jafeku Jando
Vote Dr. Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jando
Above the line,
as Governor
through
of
the
Lagos
line,
State.
below the line. The world is changing, and so is advertising.
Join us at the National Advertising Conference 2022, themed The Marketing and Communication Industry Nigeria, Trends, Challenges and Prospects.
It's the biggest advertising gathering for the biggest advertising issues of the day.
Date, November 29th to December 1st, 2022. Venue, Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. No better time to chart the way forward for the practitioners, the industry, and the economy.
Be there. Let's engage and share perspectives.
National Advertising Conference 2022 is powered by Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ACON.
And VOP 90.3 FM.
Welcome to the best exclusive radio station, VOP 90.3, bringing you the best mix of the best music.
This is Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and you are listening to Business Around Town. Today we are discussing something quite interesting. We are talking about how to build structure and system in your business so it can run smoothly on autopilot. I mean, you don't have to be there, you don't have to be on ground, but your business will run and then you can be making profit. So we've been discussing with a business structure coach. She is Tracy Diamonds, and she is joining us via the phone, the network. And we are streaming live right now on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and watch us live. Go there, check the Voice of the People 90.3 FM on YouTube, and then you could watch us live. Leave a comment. Now, the number to send in your WhatsApp message to if you have a question is 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. Just a WhatsApp, no calls, just WhatsApp message. Now, we're going to be taking the very first question here, and this one here says, good morning to you. I've been listening to this program. It's quite eye-opening. Now, let me share with you my own experience. I have a food business and I do delivery. I cook in the house and then I do delivery. My business is quite big, but not so big. Now, I'm trying to run on autopilot, but I find it difficult because most times they don't get it right. And I'm afraid that I might lose customers if they don't get all of this right. So it's affecting me. I would like you to help me. This is from Gloria, and Gloria from Festac. Now, Gloria, she's afraid that they are not getting it right, and she sells food.
Hi, Gloria.
Okay.
Can I go ahead?
Let me give you more questions. I'll give you like two more, so you answer everything together. Okay, as it comes. Right. Now, we have another message here. This one is from Matthew. Matthew said, good morning to you. Listening to your program right now from Computer Village. I sell computers and I sell systems. Now, I've tried to put a structure in place, but my employees, they complain that I micromanage them. So even when I'm not around, I try to call them and see what they are doing. They say I micromanage them and it's affecting the way they work. Is building structure not micromanaging? Please help me. That's number 2. So, okay, let's take 2 first so we don't muddle it up. Now, the Gloria and Joseph. Now, yeah, Gloria sells food. The other one is a Computer Village guy.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Gloria. So you say you have a restaurant and they're not getting it right. The reason why they're not getting it right is because you haven't created a standard process for everything. When you want to structure a business, you have to remove a lot of variations. Explain what that means. Oh. So you cannot have she's saying food.
Yes.
You're having jollof rice and chicken and beef, jollof rice and this. When there's so many variations and you're starting out, you have to make a mistake.
Okay.
Problem is that we don't do measurements in Nigeria or in Africa. But ask you how you look at social media, how do you create jollof rice? Everybody has a different version of jollof rice. This one will say put salt, and we don't have a standard measuring cup. Cup.
Yes.
We can't say so. I make cup. This one cup. different cups. So that's where the problem starts from. We don't have measurements for a lot of things. But Gloria, for your business, you need to be able to measure everything. You know, the amount of salt, the amount of pepper, the quantity of salt, the quantity of rice they can cook at every single day, the quantity of pepper, they have in fish, how the fish should be fried, the heat in the oil of fish to be fried, the heat that the oil has to get. If you want to get the same standard every day, because if today I'm frying the fish and I don't make the oil hot up to the point of the heat, I will not get the same fish taste. Just the fact that one was hotter, the oil was hotter than the other oil, that's enough. Or even the onion, I didn't weigh the onion. You say 2 onions. 2 onions today and 2 onions tomorrow, it's not the same size. You cannot get the same taste. So, Gloria, you will need to measure, weigh, write down, step by step. That's the way you can get the same jollof rice taste every day. You go to a restaurant and say, this jollof rice is not tasting like it was yesterday. What happened? They bought bad tomatoes, or the tomato quantity was different. That's the reason. So when we have every judge, and we can test and test and test, and even if there's variation, it will be small. But when today we are cooking half bag of rice, tomorrow, the way you cook a half bag of rice and the way you cook a quarter bag of rice is not the same. The rice will not stay on fire the same way. The water we will put will not the same. So that's what I'm saying, variations, so that they can follow the same. Oh, woman, how do you make cake? You say my grandmother's recipe, 2 cups of flour. Every time I want to make a 1 pound cake, I follow this step. Every time they want to cook jollof rice, do they make the same quantity of jollof rice today? The rice they are buying, when they say 1 rubber of rice, what is rubber? Which type? What's the weight of the rice? What type of rice? Today I bought basmati rice. Tomorrow I went and bought local rice. Next tomorrow the local rice is different. When there are so many variations, you will not get the same recipe. So when you can control everything to the barest minimum, these people that make fast food, they control everything. The chicken tastes the same because it's the same measurements. The burger is the same because it's the same measurement. They're not making different burgers, and when there are so many variations, there's a problem. So reduce variations, then test it again and again and again and again. You will get the same taste. You don't need to go to the office every time. I hope that helps you, Gloria.
Yeah, great. Now, for the computer village man that says they say he micromanages his staff because he's trying to put his business on autopilot, and he has to monitor what they do even while he's not there.
So, sir, you are not running on autopilot. You know when we say, when you put the plane on drive and the plane is driving itself, nobody's checking the plane. They have set everything and the plane is on. Using words, they will do the work that the words require. For that plane to fly on autopilot, everything was put in place and they took off their hands. That's autopilot. When your hand is inside, you're not running on autopilot. You are controlling the plane. So do you want the plane to run with your hands in, so you're driving the plane, or do you want the plane to run on autopilot and your hands are off? So if you have put structures in place, take yourself out of that structure that does not require your hand inside. Then you can say you want to run on autopilot. Tell people things to do by that system. They're not on autopilot yet. When you get on autopilot, you will tell them what to do. You will not be part of the sales process. There will be no part where it says, confirm before you can do this. Confirm from Oga before you can do that. Then you are ready to start speaking language.
Oh.
Now you are self-employed. You are working. They are working. All of you are working, and it's not bad. But when you want to move to the business owner where you work through people, you're only managing people who have done the work.
Wow.
Autopilot example helps you to understand why your staff is complaining that you're micromanaging, because your hand is still inside the pot. You're still question every second. They're stopping the flow. And when you are micromanaging, there are so many bottlenecks. Work cannot move fast. I give this example all the time. When you go abroad to buy a dress and you want to return it the following day, when you go to return it, they don't say, wait, let me call my Oga, as somebody came to return a dress. What they do? They say, they take it. They're not the ones that sold it to you. You even bought it from another brand, safe. It's not even the same brand that you even bought it. They'll just ask you, can I see your invoice? Papa, they'll check computer. You bought it. What day? Was it card? Was it cash or credit? If it was credit card, they'll tell you to go 7 working days. The money will be reversed. They didn't call anybody. What happened? They have created systems that ensure that there's a policy on how things are returned and does not involve the business. There's a policy on how they can exchange an item to call the owner of the business. As long as you follow the steps, 30 days, you come in your 30 days, they will exchange your clothes. Nobody will ask you questions. So the owner has set the structure on autopilot. But when they want to return something, they have to call you to return it. You are not on autopilot. You are working. You're doing your own work. So if you want to work, it's fine. If you don't want to work, take your hands off. I hope that helps you.
Yeah, fantastic. It does. Even it helps me too. Maybe that's why a lot of Nigerian businesses, you hardly see a Nigerian business that is up to 100 years. Or even...
I always use that example. What's 50? What's 30?
You hardly see a Nigerian-owned business.
Because we are involved. So when we are not there, can't work. Because our own work, nobody's doing it. So we are self-employed, and so we have our own work that requires us every day. That when I'm not there, that part of my work, who will not do it? Now, nobody. But when you want to get to like a bank where the owner is managing people who are managing and getting to the customer, then your language we want to start speaking now. Where we are not owners, not self-employed people.
Beautiful. Now, let's take this question from Ekene. Ekene said, good morning to you. I'm listening to you now from Ilukbeju. Now, will this structure system thing work in Nigeria, where the economy is hard to employ people? It is hard. And then when you employ people, you hardly see people of right skills for them to learn. They have this mediocre mindset. So to get the right person for the job is hard. And even the payment alone. So will it really work? That's what Ekene is asking. Like reality now in Nigeria.
Ekene is working. At different levels is working. So I'll give it, like I said, it costs money to structure your business. One of the money part I said was staff. Even before you complained, I said it was staff. You will need to pay quality staff. Do quality work for you. When you pay somebody reasonably well, you can plan for some things. You won't be paying somebody some peanuts, some money that only brings the person to work, and the person can just go home and be expecting the person to do heaven and earth for you. But when you pay quality, you can make a demand on what you have placed. So, like I said, it's small. Don't rush it. Have a good manager first. Have a qualified person first. They will make mistakes. But you're sure that at least I've invested. I'm not paying peanuts. I'm not even paying myself again. I've used my money to be paying them so that they can give me the work I want. And I'm monitoring them. Small. Again, we'll be going. Small. It's working now. I gave you an example of House of Tara. How old are they? They have branches everywhere. They are working. Staff is going. Staff is coming. We're still employing. Look at the KFCs and all those. You go there. Did they say that the staff did not come to work? They did not sell. They are constantly employing people. Somebody's constantly at the back having interviews. Because people are dropping, another person is taking up. They're constantly having interviews. If there's a space, somebody is there to fill it up. They're employing quality. You cannot go to those places and hear them speak pidgin English. They have employed quality people that they are paying a little extra. So you're the one paying for the service. But you keep going back there. It's working. Look at all the spas of the world. They're not working. They're working. When you go to spa, you see staff. Is that not money you're seeing? When you see plenty staff, you're seeing money. Somebody has said, I will employ all these people because they will do the work for me and I won't have to be involved 100%. So it's working. Think back, there are examples that you can look at and say it's working. But it will cost it costs you more money than it's costing you now.
You know, I once spoke with a business coach and he told me that if I want to make profit in my business, especially in Nigeria, I should cut costs. I should cut overhead costs. In fact, I should get involved in most of the things. I should even be involved in all areas. Well, because you will make profit. Your business will close down. In fact, that was the reason he gave that most companies in Nigeria do not last. That because you want to outsource this, outsource that, get people. No, you have to be involved in it. Now, you were saying something different entirely. That if you really want to break forth,
can he give me an example of what he's doing and who has done that and has an example? I'm going to give you examples of people who are employing lots of staff and they're making money. Can he give me an example of a business owner who's doing good figures and is 100% involved in his business? So because for me, results are what matters. It's not just to speak over your head. The Dangotes of today, how many work is Dangote doing? How many work does he do every day? The $10 of today, the Tony Olumelu of today. It's not just like, well, how many work? He's working through people. Is he cutting costs? He's not going to cut costs. He will increase his costs. There's a way to cut costs, not to micromanage. You minimize your costs, you will run the thing yourself. You are the same person I just said now that we cannot count businesses that have been here for 30 years. Why? Because the founders are no longer here. And when the founders go, the business goes. We want businesses where I can give you an example. I can call Apple and you say, yeah. How come? First Bank, the owner, First Bank is over 100 million. And do they look like a business that is cutting costs? The kind of cost I'm talking is not that kind of, I'm not saying go and waste money, but you need to work. You need to work through people if you want to make money. Give me examples of businesses that are cutting costs and making money. The kind of cost you should be cutting is not in employing quality staff. Look for other ways of cutting costs, not to cut the cost that will bring the money for you.
No, that thing.
If you want
Some people,
website, you can. There are websites of different levels. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, no, that if you want to employ staff, like you said, pay them well. Say, where will I get the money to pay them? So I prefer to get those ones that I can trade. So they come in, they do shady jobs continuously and use my business to learn. Then I'm making profit. Is that is the way? No, because I've spoken with a lot of people on this show. So instead of you to get professionals that will come collect money, no, those professionals, they think they know it all. So get these people and they come in, they learn, you direct them on what to do. So you keep directing them. And that is how you build a profitable business. Then your overhead cost is very low. And then your profit comes in.
Remember what I said. Okay. Remember what I said in the beginning? There are levels in business. There are business owners, there are self-employed people, there are founders, and there are professionals. You choose where you want to stay. At every level, you want to be a business owner who is working. You want to be a self-employed business owner. You're self-employed. It's okay. I want to move people to the level of managing people who are, not that I must be involved in the mix. And most of us start, it's like a quadrant. We start from there. First, we are the ones self-employed, 1 staff, 2 staff. But for you to grow, show me an example of a business that is doing what he's doing and making more money than his competitor, who is a business owner, who is working through people. Show me an example of a Zara in Nigeria. The Zara in Nigeria, is he a self-employed or is he a business owner? Give me those examples. When you want to talk with figures. Don't just give sound nice, Google examples. Give an example. This brand, now they call them Dune. They've come to Nigeria. As the owner here, they're in ShopRite. They paid for massive space. Is that how they cut costs? They paid for space. They've employed. Is that how they cut costs? So the way to cut costs is not by you think, oh God, banks are in prime location. Is that how they cut costs? Employing people, is that how they cut costs? There's other ways you can cut costs other ways, but if you want to, you can't want to play. See, this thing is a mindset thing. Some people believe, and that's why they will be where they are. It's a mindset thing. Wherever quadrants you want to play, you can play. If you want to confirm payments, you want to go ahead. It's your business. Some of us don't want to be the one confirming payment. We want to be the ones talking on radio here. Because as I'm speaking to you now, over 1 hour, there's no way I've not sold. But did I have to stop to confirm? Is the level. Where do you want to play? Somebody else payment. I didn't have to do that. While I'm speaking to you this morning, today is a Monday. There are so many bills we need to pay in the office. Paying the bills. And I'm speaking to you. This is the level I want to play. If you want to play the level where you're having a radio interview and you have to say, stop, please, I need to confirm these payments, you can go ahead. So where do you want to play in this industry is your business. That I'm explaining to you that this is how I think and I've seen. You can have 20 branches and you're the one confirming payments. Are you going to do another thing in your life? You will not. So that business has 20 branches, but maybe for the first 5 branches, she was confirming payments. When she grew to 10 branches, She can't confirm payments again. When you grow to 20 branches, you can't confirm payments again. So do you want to do one branch? Make your profit. There are profit and there's profit, Sha. Sure, you know. There are levels to this thing. Profit day, profit day.
That's it.
Yeah. So,
Okay, let's take the last question before I let you go, because we're almost rounding off. We have lots of questions here. Okay, this one
you can
says,
send me the questions after, please.
okay, so how can I get a good manager for my fashion business? The problem is that we don't have standards in Nigeria. Someone said that. And another person said, hello, good morning. Tracy Diamonds, I've been following you on Instagram and different platforms. I would like to know how you got to where you are today, a little bit of your story to get inspired. So those are two questions. Somebody wants to know.
Remind me of the first one. Okay.
Okay, the first one said that how can I get a good manager for my fashion business? The problem is that we don't have standards in Nigeria. That's the first one.
So I agree with you. I agree with you. I said that earlier. We don't have standards. We don't have measurements. We don't have all that. But we don't even have the right body size. A size 14 on another brand, another size 14. So it's not even going to enter you. But you will stay here and order size 14 abroad, and the dress will come is your size. You say shoe size this abroad is one standard, but you stay here. You want to try the dress because you're not sure of how they did their own size 14. We don't have that standard. So that problem, not just for only you. We all face that problem. Now, like you rightly said, we don't have qualified people. So most times we have to start and train. So you're looking out for character, you're looking out for someone who ready to learn, someone who is adaptable. Then you train the person how you want. Even if you get someone who is qualified, when the person comes into your business, you have to train the person on how you want things to be done in business. So that's where most people shy away from, because they don't want to train and then the person leaves you and goes that time. Back up for that staff. You see where the money is coming, assistance. By the time you're paying two people for what one person can probably do, that's money. But you are protecting so that tomorrow, if this girl says, I'm going, you have somebody that can do her work and there's no gap, that's where we are. Those are the things that we have to ensure that there's a backup. You can probably have some companies have 5 accountants, 3 managers, assistant manager. Why? Why do you need an assistant manager? Because in case of anything, if you have assistant MD, assistant D, what do you think they are doing? You think they like to spend money? We see these things, but we don't, when it comes to our business, we behave as if we are not understanding what they are doing. It's good working for them. When I teach and I give you an example. You give me your contrary example, face it. It's not a textbook knowledge thing, it's an experiential knowledge that we all have experienced at different levels of our lives. So I would say that's what. Employ, train, monitor, train, get a backup, your training, ensure that one person can do that thing if this person is not. What if the person falls ill? Person gets involved in an accident, will your business crumble? Those are the things we're talking about.
Yeah, thank you.
What
Now,
was the second question?
the person wants to know how you start, want to know a little about you, because she's been seeing you on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, and wants to be inspired with your story.
Okay, so I started like all of fashion. I saw a need because I do jewelry. I sell wedding and engagement. I design, produce, manufacture wedding and engagement. I said as a need I saw. And my husband got me my ring, and I wasn't part of the selection process of my engagement ring, which was normal. Most times the guy doesn't tell you. But when it was time for my wedding band, somebody else had to buy my wedding band because this is over 15 years ago. And I thought, at least I should be able to choose my ring for myself. It's me that will wear the ring now. It's not engagement where there's a secret, but at least wedding. I should be able to choose my ring. And so at that time, we did not know where to buy wedding rings in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt, because we live in Port Harcourt. So his brother lived abroad, and so his brother had to buy our ring. So and those days we didn't have all this WhatsApp where you can just send pictures, select. So he used his discretion. Imagine somebody buying your wedding ring for you and you're not involved at all. And I didn't like that fact. And how he even got my size, I don't even know. So all that was like, if this is happening to me, it's happening to everybody around me. And so not that there were no places where we didn't know them. It's not like now you can just Google wedding shop near me and you just see them spring up. Yeah. So that's over, what am I saying, 15 years? Over 20 years ago, about 18, 20 years ago. And so that's how I started. I had the idea of starting to sell wedding and engagement. And I used to, when I travel abroad, I'll buy one or two piece. And so that's how it started. And of course, kept growing. So now where we have 4 locations, now people can walk into, the idea was people should be able to walk into a store and see what they want and pick up immediately. So this vision has been on as what we do now. You can walk into the store, size your ring, choose what you want and go home, or we can deliver to you. So that's how we started. That's a bit of my story.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. In fact, you've broken a lot of
Thank
tables.
you for having me.
A lot of tables have been broken. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll be listening to Tracy Diamonds. She is a business structure coach. And this is Business Around Town. Thank you so much for being part of the program. So if you have more questions, you can continue to send it on 0700 903 9039. So coming up next now at 10:30 is Issues in the News with Esther Wachuku. My name is Mary Onaife Edebi. Do enjoy the rest of your day.